Hey folks, hello and welcome to another Programming for Musicians video. In this video, I'm going to show how I would go about solving Project 7. Project 7 is kind of the midterm for the course. It's the one that's got some pretty strange problems that you need to solve. The code's kind of all messed together and whatnot. This is an unscripted video. I will just be tackling things the way that I would technically tackle them. A couple changes that occurred in this. I have recently updated the project to include some expected output. So this is what you should see if you run this successfully, if you solve the problems in here successfully. So just a heads up on that. If you haven't started Project 7, or if you have started Project 7 but you don't have that, just hit me up and I will add it to your project. Okay, I hope this is helpful to you and it explains, I hope it gives you a lot of insight into how somebody with more programming experience would solve these kinds of things. So without further ado, let's dig in and see how quickly we can get this project done. So number one is, I'm just gonna look through these instructions. The first one is make the errors go away. So it should make sense to figure out what are some of the errors. So the easiest way to do that is just run it. Let's see what it comes up with. All right, there's already a bunch. Are there any easy ones that we can solve? Let's see, this padding warning could be solved easily. So let's start there. Let's just start clearing out what we can clear out while it's in front of us. So we'll take care of the padding warning. To begin with, we'll just do that right here. -w, no padded. All right, and we'll rerun. Clear that first. Stop. Okay, clear and then rerun. All right, padding warning gone. Okay, so let's take care of these. Requires new line at end of file. So that's for item.h, so we'll go to that. And we need to have a blank line at the end. So you know what, let's just do it at the end of all of these. We'll just go to the end. I'm not even gonna look at the source code yet. I'm just adding new lines at the end just because I know that for whatever reason, the compiler authors determined that needed to happen. All right, so I'm just adding a blank line or two at the end just so that there's one there. All right, defensive item, that's got it. That has it now. Character, this is a big file. All right, you got one now. You got one now. Attack item, you don't have anything in use, but we'll just add it anyway. Okay, so we'll clear that and now we'll run it. All right, cool. So we made it to the little prompt thing that says we made it to the end of compilation. All right, so now we can deal with these things right here. Wait, what is this? Main.cpp requires new line. All right, let's add that. Run. All right, cool, that took care of that thing. All right, so let's deal with this one. Item has no out-of-line virtual method definitions. Its VTail will be emitted in every translation unit. Let's look at, I think there's something in here. Let's see. Yes, clear the VTail warnings as best you can. So I'm gonna do that later. So I'm going to disable this warning because I don't wanna stare at it for every time I run this. So I'm just gonna add that here. No weak vtables. All right, clear the output and run. All right, cool. So now we're just left with some errors that we can start on. Okay, so let's see, the easiest thing to do would be let's just get rid of a lot of code. All right, we'll just comment that out. And now let's see if we can get these to compile. Just get them initialized. So we'll start with the Dwarf. What does Dwarf need? Dwarf comes from character, and character is over here. So let's include character to begin with. Include character.h. All right, so Dwarf, it looks like it's got this constructor thing. So let's just copy this over so we can see what we're looking for. All right, we want a constructor with 3 parameters. Let's look at the character constructor. That's this right here. This needs 3 parameters. Okay, go back to Dwarf. So we know we're gonna need Dwarf constructor. It's gonna take this, and this is gonna forward to the character constructor like that. So we can do HP, armor, and then attack damage like that. All right, so that takes care of that. It's got this string thing that's going on, so let's just comment that out. Let's run that and see what we get for an error. Still no, it says abstract class. Okay, what's missing? Let's figure that out first. So abstract class means there's virtual, unimplemented pure virtual method get name. All right, so let's do that first. These guys are right here. Are there any other pure virtuals? There are not. So it's just these two that need to be implemented. So we'll copy them, paste them right below our constructor, get rid of the virtual keyword because it's derived, and then override. And clearly it should return this thing. Oh, return name. All right, and get stats, we'll just do override. This is supposed to return a string as well. So let's see, are there any hints about what this is supposed to do? Get stats. Let's see, maybe there's a hint here. Add the appropriate include statements. Each character has this, add a derived type. Clear the warnings. Okay, nothing there. So let's see. Maybe there's something in character. Oh, make your get stats use a function in print stats. All right. So here's a usage of it. What do we have in utility? Get character stats. Okay. All right. So I think this is what it's supposed to use. So I will go back to Dwarf. That was a bit of a puzzle right there. And this is supposed to return this thing. Return this. And it wants a character. Pointer to a character. Dwarf is a character. So we can just return a pointer to ourselves. This. All right. Now get character stats comes from utility.h. So let's include that. Not h. All right. Let's see if that solves that one issue. No matching constructor for initialization, that's a new error, but the good thing is the unimplemented pure virtual stuff is gone. So that's cool. Okay, so let's take care of this. This takes a string. This looks like, let's look back at main, what this says. It says name, hit points, and armor. Okay, so go back here. Name, hit points, and armor. And then hit points and armor are the first two things. So clearly we need to add name as the first thing here. So std string n for name. And then this is initializing character. So here's our name member. So let's initialize that next. Put this on its own line. Comma, name, n. Like that. All right, let's run that and see if we get let's see if we clear out this matching constructor error. Let's stop and rerun that. Let's see. Oh, plugin crashed. Okay. So we will reload the page. We'll go back to dwarf.h. And we'll see if it has been solved. Let's see. Run. Oh, my changes are not there, so it's not going to do it. But I remember what it was. So no matching constructor. So we want to initialize name here like that. I'll put this on its own line and put that on its own line. All right. So let's try this again. We'll clear this and then run it. And let's see. Still no matching constructor. Why is that? Requires 4, but 3 were provided. Okay, no attack damage was provided. Okay, so let's go back to main. I think there's a note about that. Let's see. Dwarf's attack damage. Yeah, implement the constructors. Dwarf's attack damage is 4. Okay, so the simplest way to do that is to just give it a default parameter value. All right, let's see if that's solved now. All right, cool. That took care of the dwarf one. So now we can do Paladin. Paladin's going to have the same. Let's make a commit of that first of all. Create a Git repo. This is because I'm not pulling from my own project. I just created a new one and dragged in my source files from my computer. All right, so we will make a new branch, part 1. And let's see. Oh, I created this after doing this, so that's fine. All right, I'll just add like a space and just say what we did. This was implemented Dwarf class. Implemented Dwarf class. All right, cool. So now what we can do is add in the Paladin class, we can add all of this stuff. All this stuff is going to be the same. It's just going to have different. It's going to be a different class name. It's going to have a different default value. So we can just copy that. And this stuff is going to get copied as well. So let's do that. We'll go to Paladin next, paladin.h. And we'll just put that right there. Change this to Paladin. And then include what we need to include. Include character.h. Include utility.h. Right, and now if we run that, that should take care of these errors. And it did. All right, perfect. So let's do the same thing for the dragon next. Dragon.h. So we'll just get rid of this and get rid of that. And now change this to dragon. Dragon. Change the name and change the name. Okay, and one more time. All right, cool. So now we need to do it one more time for Dragon Slayer. We go like that. Whoops, I copied the wrong thing. All right, so we grab these guys, plus that. Just have to remember that it's Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer. Slayer, like that. Okay. Now, what we have to do next is fix these, because this is going to take care of that error. All right, cool. All right, cool. So that one error is gone. Now we've got linker errors, but that's fine. Let's figure out what these default damages are. So dragon's attack damage is 80. So let's take care of that. Dragon.h attack damage is 80. All right, what do we have next? We have Dragon Slayer's attack damage is 4. All right, it's already there. And then Paladin's attack damage is 10. So let's do that. 10. Okay, cool. All right, that takes care of those guys. So we can just say implemented constructors. All right, implemented derived character classes. All right, cool. So let's figure this out. There's no reference to this. Is there an instruction in main to help with that? Let's see. You're going to need to implement these things. Okay. Well, the good thing is I remember from Project 5 Part 4 that in the replit file I need to add all of my CPP files for them to be compiled. So we'll just do that next. So we will do them in alphabetical order from the left. Main.cpp is first because it's lowercase, then AttackItem.cpp, character.cpp, defensive item.cpp, and then dragon.cpp, dragonslayer.cpp. What's next? Dwarf.cpp, helpful item.cpp, paladin.cpp, and then utility.cpp. Okay. What does that give us? Fatal error, file missing, file not found, use of undeclared identifier, out of line definition of use, okay, and then a bunch of use of undeclared identifier. All right, so let's tackle, this looks easy to solve, so let's do that. That's in utility.cpp. Unidentified identifier, undeclared identifier character. So that's probably this function argument. It seems logical that item is called item, and so therefore this character pointer should be called character. Okay, cool, and that solved all of those errors. Let's do the same thing here, because that's the same error, and again here, same error. All right, so we'll clear and rerun, see what we get. There's something at the top. Allocating an abstract object of type. Yeah. Out of line definition of use does not match any declaration in helpful item. Okay, let's look at that. All right, here's my use. So what's going on here? Apparently nothing. What else do we have? Defensive item. There's another one, use one. Make your defensive item use the appropriate utility helper functions. Okay, what are the choices? Let's see. Make helpful items, make defensive items. Use helpful, use defensive. Okay, let's do use defensive item. So I'll just copy that, put it here in the defensive item thing. Get rid of that. We need to include utility. Include utility.h. What else are we using? Are we using assert? No. Are we using dragon? All this stuff? No. So those can go. All right. So our character is character. That's this parameter. And then it wants a reference to an item. Defensive item is an item, so we can just send a reference to ourselves. Okay. All right, we still have that fatal assert in character. That's fine. We'll deal with that in a bit. Same for Dragon Slayer. Helpful item .cpp. Warning unused parameter character. Okay. This is probably going to be the same solution, so we'll take care of that next. Helpful item .cpp. Let's see. Let's include utility. Include utility. That's because utility has use helpful item. So we'll do that next. Use helpful item. Character is going to be this parameter. It wants a pointer to an item. Character. It wants a pointer to an item, and we are an item. So this pointer is a pointer to an item. All right. Maybe we'll get to these guys soon. All right, warning, implicit conversion turns floating point number into integer. I don't want to deal with this warning just yet. So I'll just add it to replit to turn it off. Warning no, like that. Get rid of the float conversion. So once I get this spitting out output, I'm going to turn off these flags and fix those issues. All right, so here's the declaration shadows. Let's turn that off. And we'll tackle that soon. No shadow. Clear. Run. Maybe we'll be left with just these asserts, which would be awesome. Oh, cool. Look at that. It made it to the end. All right. So let's tackle one of these. Utility.cpp. Let's do that one first because it's right there. All right. Assert false. Dragon Slayers get a 10x boost when attacking dragons from their attack item. So their attack item should boost their attack damage by a factor of 10. Okay. So that means we need to write an attack item, first of all, for them to have it. What else is there? Then you need to get the attack damage for the character, multiply it by the item's boost, and then boost the attack damage with that multiplied value. Check character.h for available member functions you can use. Okay. So let's see, here's get attack damage, and then here's boost attack damage. All right, so let's write an attack damage item. Helpful item, I'm just gonna copy this. Oh, and there's a bunch of crap here that's not being used, so let's get rid of that. Not using dragon, not using character, not using dwarf. Right, so let's just forward declare character. Struct character. All right. Now we can copy this, include item. Don't forget the pragma once. All right, attack item.h. There we go. All right, and this is attack item. It's not helpful, it's an attack item. And if we go back to this, so their item should boost their attack damage by a factor of 10. So that means this, what's this parameter? The second item constructor parameter. What is that? That is the effect, and it's stored as boost. All right, so it is safe to say that this second parameter should be 10. That's the item's boost. All right. What did I do for these use functions? Helpful item.cpp. Use helpful item. All right, so I'm just gonna keep it right in the header file for right now, because it's easy to do it that way. Let's include utility. Include utility.h. And what was the name of that function? Use attack item. One, two. All right. Character is going to be character. Item is going to be this. Okay. So that implements that. Make sure we didn't mess that up. Just the character assertion, Dragon Slayer assertion, and then this assertion should be the last one. Okay. Unknown type name Dwarf. Okay, so this needs to have some stuff included. All right, we'll take care of these and then we'll finish up what we were doing before, because this is easy. Include Dwarf. Include Dragon Slayer. Include Dragon. Include Paladin. Was there anything else? Helpful item, defensive item. I think we need to include it. Do we need to include attack item? No. Let's see. I don't think so. Let's see if that solved all of those errors. All right, cool. That took care of that. So let's implement this guy. Or we'll comment that. Whoops. We'll comment this out. And then let's look through these instructions. Okay. You need to get the attack damage and multiply by the item's boost. So we've got our item here. So let's just start typing stuff. Item. What member functions do we have? Get boost. Okay. And then we've got attack damage. So let's look for that. Character. Attack damage. Get attack damage. All right, and then there's a boost that we need to get. That would be character boost attack damage. Okay, cool. So we can do that. So item.get boost multiplied by the attack damage. So this means you need to get the attack damage. That's this line right here. Multiply it by the item's boost. That's this thing right there, and then boost the attack damage with that multiplied value. That's what that does. All right, so that implements that. And let's just make sure. We should only have 2 assertions now. All right, perfect. Okay, let's check out this dragonslayer.cpp. Let's see what that is. All right, assert false. Dragon Slayers get a 10x boost from their attack item, so they should use their attack item before attacking the dragon. Note that items are single use only, so you need to reset it after use. Look in the character class for how other item types are reset after use. Okay. All right, let's check that out. Is there anything here where items get used? Oh, here we go, defend. Here's one. Defensive item, arrow, use, and then item reset. Okay. All right. So what are items? That is this thing here. Okay, so we need a unique pointer item. And Dragon Slayer just gets 1. Is that right? Let's see. Create a new item derived type that boosts the attack damage called attack item. Add an instance of it to the Dragon Slayer class. An instance, not a vector, just one instance. Okay. Make the Dragon Slayer attack function, use it when the Dragon Slayer attacks the dragon. All right, so that's over here. So in order for him to have something to use, we need to declare it. So let's add it here. So the unique pointer item, attack item. Like that. And then now let's give him a new attack item. So he needs to include attack item.h, and then he can instantiate it in class just like that. And then now he can use it, and then it needs to be reset. So we can go attack item use, and then it wants a pointer to a character. Dragon Slayer is a character. That's who is using the item, and then the item gets reset. Attack item dot reset. That should take care of that. Let's see if that solves that assertion. Maybe it'll give us a bunch more errors. Let's see. Exit status 1. All right, cool. So let's check out this error that's in character.cpp. This assertion. What do we have going on here? All right, let's take care of this one. When you defeat another character, your stats are restored to their initial value. If they are lower than it, your stats are boosted 10%, and the initial value of your stats is updated to reflect this boosted stat for the next time you defeat another character. Okay, so what stats do we have? Let's look for that. Those are down here. I think that's these guys. So that makes these the initial ones that get restored. Okay, so we are doing this. So let's do one of them. Your stats are restored to their initial value if they are lower than it. So we will do if, and autocomplete's kind of janky on this. So we'll do if, let's see, hit points. We'll start with hit points. If these hit points are less than initial, because that's the initial value, and initial hit points is a unique pointer, so that needs to be dereferenced to get the actual int. And it says if it's lower than it, they are restored to their initial value. So this hit points equals this initial hit points. Then your stats are boosted 10%. So that would go here. Times equals 1.1. And then the initial value of your stats is updated to reflect this. So this thing now equals this thing. All right, now this happens for all of the stats. I'm going to do this same comparison. I'm going to multiply this by 1.1, and I'm going to do this same reassignment. So I might just copy this and redo it 3 times for the others, like that. And this becomes armor. Whoops, doing the wrong thing. This is armor. Initial armor. Armor. Initial armor. And then armor. Initial armor. Armor. And then this one was attack, I think. Oops. Attack damage. Initial attack damage. Attack damage, initial attack damage goes there, goes there, goes there. Okay, so I'm just looking at this and I'm like, attack damage less than some other thing, attack damage equals 1.1, attack damage equals whatever. Okay, and I'm like, it's very repetitive. I'm doing the same thing over and over. So let's just let's DRY that. Let's refactor that so it's much cleaner. So we'll do void boost. Now hit points and initial hit points. What types are those? Those are, let's see, this is an int and this is an int. So since I'm modifying these things, they're all integers, so I'm just going to int, I'll just do references like this. So I'll do int reference current and then int initial. And I'm just going to copy this logic over and just start swapping names out. So hit points is the current. So anytime I see hit points, that becomes current. And then initial is obviously what we put for initial. And that needs to be indented. Oh, what just happened? For some reason that got moved there. Okay. All right, if current is less than the initial one, The current one needs to be reassigned the initial one, and then current one is boosted, and then the initial one is reset to the current. All right, so I can get rid of this, and now I can do boost, and I can do hit points, and my initial is initial hit points. And I can do the same thing with armor and then attack. Boost, armor, boost, armor, initial armor level. And one more time, boost, hit, attack points, attack damage, initial attack damage. And it's a pointer, dereference. Okay, run. Let's see what we get now. Error redefinition of print stats. Okay. Let's see, where is that currently declared? That's right here. Okay, so we'll get rid of this declaration. Comment that out. Semicolon. Go back to the CPP file. Error use of undeclared identifier assert. Make your getStats function use a function from utility.h. I think that's for the derived ones. Let's stop that. Let's rerun this. All right, we're slowly eliminating errors and whatnot. We don't have output yet, other than that stuff is compiling. But if you remember, we commented out a bunch of stuff in main. Oh look, a.out just appeared. So now it ran it. So it compiled. All right, awesome. So let's take a look. Make your getStats function use a function from utility. So where's that happening? I think that's here. GetStats. All right, I think I already took care of that. All of these getStats. Yes, that's fine. Dwarf getStats. Okay, Paladin getStats. Okay, cool. All right, so potentially we could uncover a bunch of stuff in main. What have we not done? All right, we took care of these assertions. We got rid of a bunch of the errors. We don't have any include issues. We implemented these pure virtual ones. All the constructors are taken care of. So now, what is this here? Each character type gets some helpful items and defensive items when they're constructed. Use the functions in utility.h to give each character, excluding dragon, because dragons don't carry items, a random number of helpful and defensive items. So I'll just copy this, and we're just going to go through these constructors and toss them in. Helpful item, defensive item. See, let's see. You'll get 4 helpful items. Paladins, you get 5 defensive items. And Dwarf, what do you get? Dwarfs, they're not very helpful, so they just get 2 items, or 3 items. But they're very defensive, so they get 6. Let's see, let me just copy this. Dragon Slayer. Let's see. Dragon Slayers don't seem like they would be helpful or defensive. They're just about fighting, and then Dragon doesn't get anything. Is that right? Yes, dragons don't carry anything. Okay, cool. And then we took care of this. So clear the warnings as best you can. So let's run this again. And we'll see what happens. All right, cool. We got a little bit of output. Fantastic. So why do we have these lines here? No matching constructor. That's an old error because it's not shown up here. So let's just refresh, and then we'll make a commit of the stuff that we have accomplished. Yep. Okay, let's make a commit. All right. Solved most errors. All right. The one thing we haven't done is this, and then we need to uncomment all of this and start checking our output. So uncomment this and run. And we'll see what we get. Use diff checker to make sure it is the same. All right, we got some cool output. So let's load that up right now. We'll see how close we are and how much further we have to go, especially after we start turning on errors and whatnot. All right, so just grab this, go under there. Maybe our item counts are different. That's fine. All right, so there's our original. And we'll go and copy this output. Start of battle. Is that where we copy it from? Let's see, yes, start of battle. Okay. Paste it here and find difference. All right, so we have different attack item numbers and defense item numbers. Is there anything else that's like really different? Is that it? Well, that's fantastic. Okay, so that's awesome. So if I wanted to, I could change this stuff. So let's see. Warwick the Paladin gets 3 helpful items and 7 defensive items. So let's do that. Let's change that guy. Instead of 5 and 6, he'll get 3 and 7. Go back over here. And let's see, where was that? Let's make a commit that like we have successful output matching excluding item counts. So let's figure that out. All right, so we were doing Paladin. All right, Paladin 3 and 7 is what we wanted for helpful items and defensive items. Make helpful items was 3, 7. Right? Yeah, Warwick the Paladin. All right, who's next? Malden the Dwarf. So we get 3 items and 6 items for the Dwarf. Is that right? Virgil the Dragon Slayer is going to help. Let's see, 3 and 6 for Malden the Dwarf. Oh, that seems fine. Okay, so let's run this again and then do our diff check. Is there anything that uses an item? Let's see, Virgil the Dragon Slayer is going to help. He boosts his hit points to 3. All right, this says 4 and 7. That's interesting. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's copy this again. Start of battle. And paste here. Let's go back to the original. Paste. Find difference. All right, what's going on here? Why does this have 3 and 7? Why does that have 4 and 8? Why is this 3 and 6? Why is this 4 and 7? Okay, well, you know what? I'm not too worried about that difference because it's not that serious. And we're supposed to pick a random number, so that's totally fine. So we'll leave that alone. And now we will go back to our replit file and start removing some of these warnings. So let's take care of this float. Let's take care of this no shadow warning first. Float conversion happens. You start learning about how to solve conversion errors in the next project that follows this. I think it's part 3. So we will leave this float conversion warning alone and just silence it. All right, so we turned off, forget what we turned off, but we're gonna tackle it now. I think it was the shadow warning. So let's see what we get. All right. Warning, declaration shadows, local variable in utility.cpp. So that's all of this stuff, and it's because CH was previously declared for the Paladin. This CH was previously declared here. Okay. So we'll just rename these. This should be Dwarf, so we'll call that DW. And that's the same error down here. And the same one down here. All right, so we'll do Paladin next. P for Paladin, copy. Take care of that. P for Paladin. P for Paladin. All right, now we got Dragon Slayer, so we'll do DS for that. DS, DS. Dragon Slayer, Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer, and then this is, that can be fine, that can be character, that's fine. All right, let's clear this, let's rerun it, see if that takes care of those shadow warnings. And then we will do vtable warnings next. Did that take care of them? All right, cool, no warnings. So let's see, cleared shadow warnings. Cleared shadow warnings. All right, let's do the vtables warnings. I'm pretty sure this might take a few moments to take care of. Let's look at them all. No weak vtables. Let's see. Give me some instructions. Vtables. For the vtables warning coming from a header file, move any virtual function implementation to the CPP file. Okay. So move any virtual function implementations to the complementary CPP file. So that means... Did this finish running? Oh, here we go. Here's a bunch of them. Warning, item has no out of line, whatever. Okay, so these are... let's see. This is virtual. This is virtual. So we need to move this to a CPP file. So we need to add an item.cpp. Item.cpp. And this goes in there. So let's just forward declare that. Or not forward declare it. Let's include item.h. And now we get item, destructor item. Like that. See if that takes care of that warning. Oh, let me clear this. Stop. Oh, you know what? I need to add item.cpp to replit. That goes after helpful item. Item.cpp. Stop. Run. Okay, Dwarf has no out of line virtual methods, so let's see what's going on there. Also attack item. Which one do we want to tackle first? Let's do the item stuff because we know that that's got to happen. So let's see. Attack item. Okay, this is a virtual function, so that needs to go in the CPP file. Use attack item. That. Get rid of override. And change the indentation. All right. And semicolon. Right. Oops, what's going on there? Stop. Rerun. All right, Paladin. Are there any other weak vtable warnings for the items? That's what I'm concerned about. And actually, let's just turn off main for right now. No point having it spit out all this output because it's just going to make it harder to find all the warnings and stuff. So let's see. Attack item. C++ requires a new thing. Item.cpp. Yes. Okay. That takes care of that. Clear that. Let's look at helpful items while we're here. Okay, that's already over there. And then defensive item. That's also already implemented. Okay, cool. So that might take care of all the items. Let's see if we have any item related errors or warnings in the output. All right, there's Paladin, Dwarf, Paladin, Dwarf. Okay, so let's look at Dwarf and see what's virtual that's in here. That's these two guys. All right, so we'll move those over. And DWARF, : Copy, paste, delete the override keyword, and then make these declarations. All right, that should take care of that guy. And let's do Paladin next. Same thing here. Copy, paste. We got our double Paladin : right there. Get name, get stats, delete the override keyword, and then make these declarations. Semicolon, semicolon. Run. And if we get no warnings, then awesome. Oh, got a warning in Paladin. Of course we do. All right, that'll take care of the Paladin warning. So we'll clear that. And that might be it. Yep, I think that's it. All right, so let's see. If Do you want to check out how to clear padded warnings without using the flag? So let's run this. Let's see which ones it says need to be padded. All right. And then this is pretty easy to fix. It's just, you normally never need to do it. So check this out. We go to character.h. All we have to do down under private, in order to pad it with 3 bytes, we just do char padding 3 like that. And that should take care of that warning. So run, whoops, clear. Look at that, run. There we go. Padding, yeah, it took care of the thing. So let's do the same thing in AttackItem, or in item.h. No, let's see, AttackItem.h. So AttackItem, we'll just make it private. Padding, it wants 4 bytes. Right. And then padding struct character with 3 bytes to align initial hit points. All right, so character.h. Wait, is that still doing that? Let's see. Let me clear this. Let me abort this and do it one more time. Character.h, line 71. Oh, it wants it in like a specific position. So let's see, it wants 3 bytes right there. Is that what it wants? Let's see. Padding struct character with 3 bytes to align initial hit points. And then it says padding size of character with 5 bytes to align boundary. So that maybe this needs to have 5 bytes here. Is that what that's saying? Let's see if we can clear these 2 warnings. All right. That'll be very strange if that's what that means. Error duplicate member padding. So we'll just go like P1 and then P2. Clear, stop, clear, run. We're trying to see if it took care of that. Why is that doing that on line 10? In file included for main. Padding, struct dwarf with 3 bytes to align name. Let me go back to that attack item one. I don't think we need that. It's easy to get lost doing this stuff. Let's see, warning padding of size item. All right, so let's move that. Let's do item.h, should have some padding. Let's see if that takes care of some of these. Let's see, 2 warnings generating. So there's kind of a trade-off. It's like I'm gonna get this padding field not used, padding size of character with 3 bytes to align boundary. Which, you know, what's the right way to solve it? Character, let's see, maybe it doesn't, maybe it needs to go, I'm not actually 100% sure what's the best way to solve that. So, you know what, I'm just gonna take it out. I don't think it's that important. We can just use the padded flag. So let's just do that. Character is gone there. Dragon, I didn't pad you. I didn't pad defensive item. Didn't pad Dragon Slayer. Did I pad Dwarf? Thought I did one of these. I think it was item. Yeah, padded item. So maybe what needs to happen is the derived classes need to be padded. Padding struct Paladin with 3 bytes to align name. Maybe we'll just try that here. So char pad 3 like that. Let's see if that takes care of this Paladin one. Dragon Slayer, Dwarf, item, Paladin. Yeah, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to put that to align those guys. And it says yeah. Let's see if we can figure out where to put that the 3 bytes. So char 3. Maybe it just goes like that without a name. I don't think you can do that. Yep, nope. Stop. Clear. Run. Is that what I needed to do to clear those warnings? All right. Interesting. Okay, so let's fix this one. Padding struct Paladin with 5 bytes to align name. So this needs to be 5. Now it says 2 bytes, 3 bytes to align name. Which one is it? Is that supposed to be 3 or is that supposed to be 5 bytes? Put it back to 3. Let's see what happens. Maybe it's supposed to go after it. Char P2 5. Let's see. Maybe it goes before it. I'm not sure. Char P2 5. Stop. Clear. Run. That doesn't make sense. It seemed to take care of it though. That's really interesting that that was done that way. So maybe we'll just make this 8 and call it a day. That might have done it. All right, padding not used, pad not used. Awesome. So I think the way we can do that is just do pad like that. Expression result unused. All right, now it's no longer unused. Stop. Run. All right, if that's cool, then I'm just gonna do that same thing. That's cool. All right, so we'll change this. Make this pad. And then where's my item constructor? We'll just add one here. Item. Like that. That'll silence that. All right, now we just need to do character. Pad. And then character.cpp. Right, and now we can uncomment main. Let's clear this, run it. We shouldn't get anything except the items being created. And we should be rocking. All right, rock and roll. Let's comment this out. Run it, make a commit, one last check of the output. And we should be good to go. And we got rid of that padding warning, which is cool. We learned how to do that. All right, cool. Let's check this out. No warnings, start of battle. Scroll all the way down to the end. Copy all this stuff. Copy. Go back down here. Change text, paste. Find the difference. The only difference is the items, the item counts. Awesome. So that's perfect. Okay, great. So now let me make a commit. And finished project. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that clarifies the way I would go about solving this, in addition to how I would clear those padding warnings without actually, without actually using that flag suppression thing in the replit file. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.